Hey everybody, Isaac Petcash here with Erie News Now. I'm at the alert desk here on this Tuesday as we are just minutes away, almost 5 minutes in fact, from a conference with Health Secretary Rachel Levine of Pennsylvania. We are expecting today that the Health Secretary is going to announce, quote, targeted mitigation relating to the COVID-19 coronavirus and the state of Pennsylvania. Now, that's about as specific as we're going to get because we haven't heard any other information relating to that. I can tell you I've been in contact all morning with representatives from the state of Pennsylvania, people very close to Governor Wolf in the state legislature, and they really haven't said there's much else that they know. Again, targeted mitigation, does that mean restaurants? Does that mean bars? Does that mean large sporting events? We don't know, but we are expecting at least some sort of an update in about 5 minutes here. We're not going to be able to stream it live for you. We haven't had clearance as to whether or not we're allowed to stream this live, but what I will be doing is I'll be on the alert desk, and as soon as we get any updates that are very specific or updates that are necessary to show you and tell you about, we're going to do that for you here on Erie News Now. So make sure to stay tuned into Facebook and our social media sites, as well as our website platforms here. Our John Leidick is sending me something, so I'm going to take a look at that here really quickly, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. So let me take a look at something really quickly. My apologies, I just want to make sure that I have this correct here. Gotcha. So we are hearing news now from a couple of different sources that the Pennsylvania Health Department is going to be implementing several changes, including requiring masks to be worn indoors with limited exceptions and requiring travelers to be tested within 72 hours or quarantining for 14 days before coming back to Pennsylvania. That is a government source. So if you will give me just 1 minute, I actually have some other information coming in now. We have a lot of people that have actually just texted me in the last 30 seconds here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go off the air for just about a minute or two, and then I'm going to come back and let you know exactly what this information is. So stay tuned. Hold on just 1 second. We're going to come back on Facebook in just a minute or two. I want to make sure I can process this information and let you know what exactly is going on. So give us just one moment. We'll be back in just a minute here on Erie News Now. Stick tight with us. I'm going to put this screen here on blue, and just stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back with you here on Erie News Now. Again, want to appreciate your patience here. We are just getting breaking information. As I was on the air, I was getting texts from people close to the state of Pennsylvania. I was getting information from other sources on online social media news paths. So we're trying to get this information out to you as quickly as we can here, and we're trying to give you as much of a advance notice as we can. Here's what's happening right now. We're right now in the beginning of the press briefing with Health Secretary Rachel Levine of Pennsylvania to talk about these mitigation efforts, but we actually have them right here for you. So I want to go ahead and read this to you as we're getting it right now. I am going to be looking at my phone, so I apologize if it seems like I'm stopping and starting here, because we just want to make sure we know exactly what is going on here. Okay, so here is what we are seeing here. There's going to be a bit of a difference when it comes to face coverings in the state of Pennsylvania. So every individual age 2 or older shall wear a face covering when, in the following situations, here's what we know. Indoors or in an enclosed space where another person who are not members of someone's household are present in the same space. So in essence, if you are anywhere besides your house, indoors, you must wear a mask. That is what these changes are saying. So even if you're in it looks like, essentially, even if you're at, let's say, your grandparents' house, your relative's house, you are required to wear a mask. That is something that is being put in place here by the governor. A mask is also required outdoors with others who are not members of a person's household. And let's see, if you're participating in indoor physical activity in a gym, fitness center, or group fitness classes, that is also required. Waiting in a public area for transportation. So if you're waiting for a taxi, if you're waiting for a cab, if you're waiting for something else, that is also required of you to be able to wear a mask as well. If you're working in a space where food is prepared. So again, a lot of these things are similar to what we know, but the big one here, it looks to be, if there's somebody not in your household with you in any indoor location, a mask is required. So that is what we're looking at right now. I'm looking at the other sections here. Business and school entity obligations. So if you're a business owner or you're someone inside a school, you might want to listen to this. A business or school entity must require that all people wear a face covering. Obviously, that is what has been the case for a while. Let's see, anything else? Businesses may decline services to individuals who are not wearing a face covering or claiming to have a condition preventing them from face coverings. So that's the order that's in effect right now in terms of additional mitigation for masks. But it looks like there is other efforts being done as well. And I just really want to quickly go ahead and look at this here to make sure that I have all of this information correct. It looks like there is also efforts being done to test at colleges. So more testing going to be done at colleges, increased mitigation when it comes to things at colleges as well. I'm looking just at anything else that we might have right here, considering what we know. Okay, here's the other big part of this. So we have the mask mandate, we have the additional mask regulations. The other big part of this is travel inside and outside the state of Pennsylvania. So here is what we have been told by the state of Pennsylvania as of right now. Individuals traveling into and returning to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from any other state or international location must provide evidence of a negative COVID-19 test from a specimen collected within 72 hours prior to entering the Commonwealth, or they must quarantine for 14 days upon entering unless they qualify from one of 4 exceptions. Now, here's what we know with the testing. The testing must be a COVID-19 test. Travelers who do not have their test results at the time of entry must remain at their travel destination without contacts with others outside until they receive their test results. Travelers receiving positive results must remain in isolation. Travelers receiving negative test results may continue their intended activities. So here's what this means. This means that if you're traveling outside the state of Pennsylvania, you are going to have to provide a negative COVID test to come back from what we're looking at here. So again, you have to have a COVID test within a 3-day period of coming back into Pennsylvania that says you're negative. So let's just say, for example, I was to travel to Ohio today. If I'm coming back to Pennsylvania on Saturday, I would have to have a negative COVID-19 test either on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. That's what we're saying. So you have to provide a negative COVID-19 test. That, or you must quarantine for 14 days when you come back to the state. So it's your choice. If you don't provide a negative test, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That's what we're looking at here. We've seen a lot of other states do similar mitigations to this. New York is one of the states as well. But we're seeing that the big thing that we're seeing is the returning to the state guidelines. So let's see if there's any other information that we want to give you today. Doesn't look like it. So again, to recap, and we appreciate your patience here on this. We're just listening to the conference now. A lot of this information is the same from what you've heard just a while ago. But again, what we're hearing right now is a couple of things. Number one, we're hearing that in order to be anywhere inside, even if you're with family, if it's anywhere outside your household at an indoor location, you have to wear a mask. That's what is being put in place by the state of Pennsylvania. We're also learning that when it comes to traveling inside and outside the state, you must have a negative COVID-19 test, or if you don't have a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of coming back, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That means you can't go to work, you can't go to school, you have to quarantine for a 2-week period. And that is a requirement now that we're seeing here from the state. So that's the big information we know right now. If there's anything else that we hear of this conference, we're going to certainly let you know. This is not something that we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants here. We're keeping an eye on this information. We're letting you know if there's anything related to businesses, more things related to schools as we go along here. So that's what we know right now. So we're going to go ahead and end this video at the moment. We're going to have a lot more tonight at 5 on Erie News Now, just breaking down what this means for people in our area. But again, we want to let you know of those big informational pieces when it comes to mitigation efforts in the state of Pennsylvania. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. Again, we appreciate you keeping patience with us here. We want to get the information out to you as you deserve to know it. All right.